Good morning, everyone. Sorry for that slow beginning. I didn't know we were live yet. So, good morning, guys. And how's everyone doing? Hope you are ready for the last day of the week trading. I got some interesting little picks to share with you guys. And then we will also review some of the alerts that went off yesterday. And if we have some time, we'll also just quickly jump over the past trades, which I think we're going to incorporate anyway. So. Just setting up everything. How much coffee do I have left? Oh, my microphone is all the way over here. It's clearly not okay. All right, hopefully that's a little bit better. All right. One last little victory sip. Let's get ready for a new trading day. Yesterday was 2 scratches. I did one more little trade yesterday. After the live stream, didn't really sink anything juicy, but that's fine. Was waiting for a bounce. We had a bounce. I was profitable around 2%, but then there was a continuation to the downside, so didn't get that one. All right, so we have two stocks on our list, and remember, guys, if you ever want these picks ahead of time, just check out Trade to Win. You're gonna see my thread there, the 25K challenge thread, and I always post my alerts there first. And also sometimes I go ahead and post that on Twitter. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, Mr. Alex Winkler, you can find me there. So the first one I want to talk about is ALPP. Let's just go ahead and move over there. Now this was a runner for the last few days. And let me actually go ahead and switch my chart. Just realized second screen. Cool, so you can see that we have 2 new charts now, and or not new charts, but I kind of rearranged a little bit. We have the daily over here, and then we have a 5-minute over here, and then our active trading is a 1-minute chart. So you see a little bit more of what's going on. And again, like I said in the beginning of this video, this is the Trade to Win thread where you see always my announcements or my watch list. So we have 22 more minutes till the market opens. We're going to do a little bit of watch list review, and then we're going to do about 30 minutes of trading. So, if you're watching this on playback, feel free to skip around depending on what you're interested in. There's no real order of things, I guess you can say. So this one, some really interesting movements. We've had a big crash down from the high of 14, which was a very split opening, and it's basically been going down ever since. So my guess is that there's probably a high amount of dilution in this. I did not check yet for the dilution, but you can see every spike it's had has been majorly failed. So a lot of people are selling into anytime there's a spike to the upside. And well, guess what happened? We had a big spike to the upside, and now people are really selling into it. We had that first crack, and after a first crack, I really don't want to be going long blindly unless we're doing some big bounces. So 2 days ago, we had a really nice bounce, but we missed that one. And what we're looking for now is maybe a secondary bounce. Remember, the second bounces are never as strong, so you really want to watch out with those. So if we do enter a second bounce, I would really wait for a bigger pullback. I would wait also for some volume. If this thing is dry, we won't really want to be trading it. So just a few things we're going to be looking out for. So ALPP, just guys, if you did not see that ticker, that's what we're looking for the first one. So if we go to active trader, this thing is not trading pre-market, but right now we have an order around 1.8, a bit above 1.8. So let's see if we can get a little dip. If that happened, that would be about a 20% dip, so not a small dip at all. There's definitely some more support here in the 5-minute area and actually even in the daily. You can see that if we scroll back a little bit, there's huge, this was a former top, so big resistance zones, and former resistance are always, not always, but oftentimes new support. And you can see that we bounced off of this area with a wick, and then we also closed on this area with body. So really interesting area, and I think we could see some good support around this area again. So yeah, that's going to be the first thing we are looking at. Let's go ahead and check out the just gotta go checking stream connection. Stream connection is looking good. Whew, I love it. Let's move on to the next stock we are looking at, and that is CLVS. Now, we traded CLVS yesterday. Let me go to all accounts, and CLVS, I actually really like this one. So we're in a very aggressive downwards trend. You can't deny that. But we're not blindly buying this. We're not investing into this. What we are doing, though, it's up on some news, a nice contract winner, and it's also a NASDAQ, which means the spread's going to be a little bit nicer, usually, typically, not always, but compared to OTCs. And what we are looking for, this one was a gap. This one was a gapper. So this one gapped up in the morning, overnight, and then didn't really do too much, nothing really too interesting. It kind of made a doji candle, held its highs pretty okay, you know, tried to run to the upside, got rejected, tried to run to the downside. Support came in, and you can see this was the trade we did yesterday. Whoop. So we're forming somewhat of a pennant pattern. I didn't really realize that till, I would say, much later, and that's when we had and drew this pennant pattern. Ultimately, though, when we did identify the pennant pattern, that's when we decided to say, if we break to the downside here, I'm just going to cut it and get out of that trade. And that's exactly what we did. We were breaking to the downside. We hit 4.24. We cracked it for a split second, and I just got out of the trade. I didn't really want to be in this one anymore. Unfortunately, I was a little aggressive with the entry. We had this morning rally. And then I thought, you know, this could be it. This could be that big break to the upside that we're waiting for, looking to break the former highs. Did not happen, and then I simply got out of this trade. The reason I held it so long is because we only have those 3 trades per account per 5 business days. So it's, you know, you really get sometimes in these positions where you're thinking, you know, I don't really want to sell it. I could easily sell this one for 2% profit. Took my money, you know, said, you know, whatever, this is a scratch, and walked away. But that just wasn't possible because, well, it could have been possible, but, you know, it's not something that you really want to do when you only have that one trade. So yeah, we entered this one at 4.36, which is just about right here. I was looking at a VWAP bounce, which it dipped under a little bit, but then bounced. So what I could have done, which probably would have been a good idea, was wait a little bit till there was a VWAP bounce and then enter on the way up. That could have, you know, resulted in a 5% trade, a 4 to 5% trade. So if I was a bit more conservative on the VWAP entry, that would have definitely helped. So what we're looking for today on CLVS is it's running up in the aftermarkets fairly nicely. This one really, you know, if we were a little bit more lenient on this trade in terms of the entry, very conservative, I probably would have even considered holding this one overnight, because I really like the idea that if you hold a trade overnight, you don't use one of your trades, one of your 3 PTD rule, pattern day trader rule trades. So, you know, it's definitely a strategy to really consider. I just don't like holding overnight, because a lot of times when I hold overnight, I start not sticking to my rules as well. And that's when things kind of sometimes can go south, because all of a sudden you're in a trade you don't want to be in anymore, and then you're kind of hoping, and then I like those really quick, you know, 7 to 10 minutes you're in a trade and then you're out and you're done for the day. That's really what I like. But if I start seeing some patterns that are holding their highs well, and they have a big room to break to the upside, you know, then I might start looking to get a little bit more aggressive in terms of holding overnight, because that might be a really important way to actually end up growing our account. Because right now, like I said, it's kind of tough to grow the account if you are getting scratches like we did. This week was just full of scratches, but we're still profitable this week, and that's a really nice thing. So if we do dip below 4, I would say 4.11, we have an alert. And then at 4.03, I have a very small order actually, and I have this order with our Webull account, because our Webull account still has 2 trades available. The only thing is, in this account, there's only $600 in it right now. I got another $200 in this account after I was having some issues with our Wells Fargo ACH deposit. So let's see how it holds out. Basically, there is the one big dip here that happened at the point at the $4 area. So let's see if we can get an entry there before any sort of run to the upside. Or we could look to maybe trade this in terms of a all-time high breakout or 24-hour high breakout. So those are two kind of options right now. Either way, we have this limit order ready to go. And if we wanted to, we could always change this limit order as well just by moving it up and down. For example, if we move it here, the only problem is our buying power is insufficient. So I guess in this case, we actually would have to cancel the order first, unfortunately, but that doesn't really take too long. Let's quickly check one of the FinViz. Sometimes I like to see what FinViz is up to. Let me go ahead and close my calendar. So FCEL, that's also been on our watch list the last few days. FCEL, let's check out this one a little bit. Let's go to charts. Whew. This one also has just the most ferocious sell-off. Let's go over here a little bit more. And we don't even really need to scroll back that far because this one also clearly has some splits involved in it. And this thing just has been tanking for quite some time. So this thing will probably never ever recover because there's just so many new shares in here and a lot of dilution. So there's basically, it's also going to be sold into pretty heavy during each spike. And this is the 180-day moving average coming in from the top. So just a lot of overhead resistance. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more. And yeah, so we had multiple rejections every time it tries to run to the upside. Yesterday was also a really big rejection. A lot of volume kind of disappearing, evaporating a little bit. So this thing will probably just collapse today. And I don't think we'll be trading this one at all. This one will probably be really not even have much volume. So it's really dangerous trading this one with, I don't know, any larger account. There might be some bounce potential on this one. Actually, there's definitely most likely going to be some sort of bounce potential, but I wouldn't really, really bet on it too much in terms of, you know, like placing the best trade ever. Even if it bounced off a 3, that bounce off 3 might be really weak, and it might only give you about 4-6%. You know, ideally you'd be wanting to look for much bigger returns. So yeah, probably not something we're going to be trading. I do have that alert though at 0.348. So maybe, you know, we'll be checking out this stock throughout the day. Ooh, Nugs. Now this one was a fun little trade that we had actually. Quite a risky little trade actually. This was earlier in the week. It was a 12% profit trade. Basically, we had a big sell-off, identified support in this area, had a nice limit order waiting at the 0.08, and then we placed another limit order at 0.09, and we just got out, thankfully, on this bounce right here. We did not, you know, hold it. You know, I could have, you know, tried to shoot for the moon and hope that this thing reverses at one point, goes back to maybe 0.5 or something like that. But, you know, that's a really, really risky thing. We're trying to take those very quick and reliable profits. And then, you know, the second the trade goes against us, we want to get out of that position. So these next two, I would say 2 months are really the trial zone for, so November and December, of getting our strategy in order and getting all our accounts ready. And then hopefully in 2020, we'll be really ready to grow the accounts very consistently. We'll have, you know, ideally 2K in each one minimum. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So right now we're just focusing on not losing any money and just, you know, really fine tuning our strategy. All right, so we have 10 more minutes till the market opens. Tools, my trades, feeds. No. Where is the alerts? I just cannot. I don't remember where it was now. Okay, Market Watch. I always forget it's under Market Watch. I guess it kind of makes sense, right? Market Watch alerts. I don't know. I'm just checking what kind of alerts went off yesterday. We had NIO, BNGO. Let's check out BNGO because BNGO is one of the trades we made yesterday. BNGO is a secondary break to the upside and probably not something we want to be trading either. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the trade I made after the live stream. About 30 minutes maybe after the live stream, we had a nice little crash with BNGO. This crash was actually, it wasn't very strong. There was no point where the crash was like, oh man, this is it. This is the big crash. It was just constant selling off. And right here, let me actually just go to this chart because it looks quite nice. So this is the 1 minute chart, and let's go a little bit this way. You can see that, we had that nice morning panic, and this is where I originally wanted to enter. I had my order at 1.21. So just, 1.5% away from that dip. And then we really rallied super hard. We rallied over 20%. I was a little upset that we missed that trade because, this was really the big one we were looking for. And then ever since that morning rally, it's just been selling off super heavy. We were considering buying it here maybe again, but the bounce was weak. And then just constant selling pressure. And then here, when we had this really nice dip, really, really nice, I was like, okay, this is definitely our chance. I'm going to go ahead, enter this trade. And so that's what I did. And again, the bounce was very, very weak. And then we had that secondary sell-off. So we held through this one, which was not fun. And then I basically just sold into a little high bounce right here, which, this bounce from the super bottom all the way to the super top, it was about 8%, 9% even, almost 9%. But, getting something like that is just, shooting for the perfect entries and perfect exits isn't really something that happens. It's great when it does, but if you try to constantly get those perfect entries and perfect exits, it's really dangerous because you should be looking for the meat of the move and not those perfect entries. Or else you're going to either constantly miss trades or miss those exits or just keep holding it a little bit too long. And then before you know it, the price turns. So you just want to, sell into strength and things like that. And yeah, this one, basically when that bounce was weak, our trading thesis was more or less invalidated. And that's why we got out of the trade. So yeah, BNGO is just kind of selling off today. Already after hours, not looking very good. So nothing really too interesting. If it does dip below 0.85, maybe it could be another, bounce opportunity. But again, the bounces would be very, very weak. So nothing really too interesting. It's a little above our... Let's check out SCOR. It's a NASDAQ stock. What's the float on this one? We don't want to check. Let's go ahead and check it out. Don't need this open. Anything else we can close that might take up some CPU. So okay, so shares float 54, not too bad actually. This one could be really interesting. It's looking like it's breaking to new all-time highs as well, or not all-time highs, but monthly highs. This is looking really, really interesting. 5 minutes till the market opens. New CEO has strong incentives to sell the company at a certain price. That's an interesting thing to say. Hedge fund misjudges score. Announces another CEO. So new CEO. People are looking very bullish on this one. Let's go ahead and add this one actually to our watch list. I like the float. It's really nice, SCOR, and it's a NASDAQ stock, which is I'd rather be trading NASDAQ and New York's NYSE than OTC. One, it's free commission, which is always great, and two, typically the spread in the order book is looking a little bit better. This is the NASDAQ, okay. Not too much volume coming in. The dollar volume yesterday was 4.9, so about 10% of the overall float. Let's go ahead and mark some key areas here. I think this 2.8 area is quite interesting. I guess you could even just say this general 3 area. Yeah, this one actually might have some sort of morning panic or something like that. Let's check out which account would be able to trade. If we just go ahead and try to place a trade on our IRA account, send. Yeah, so resulting buying power for this one. Okay, that's because there's actually a trade open for this one, NIO. This one could have some sort of morning panic. You know, it's holding its highs pretty well yesterday, but we didn't break to that new all-time high. So let's see, let's actually follow this one. This one's quite interesting. Create alert below. All right, now let's focus on the top 1, 2, 3, top 3, I guess you can say, what we're looking at. So we have 2 trades open. We have one on NIO. We got completely rejected on this one. Big sell-off, and then yesterday a little bounce, and I think it's going to be a continuation into a sell-off. But we've definitely identified some major support at 1.75. So let's see what happens on this one. I think there's a good chance that there might be a secondary bounce on this one that we could enter. And I think a bounce off the 1.75 would actually be quite nice. There's a good chance that, you know, it could be anywhere from, you know, 5 to 10%. So I think there's a good risk reward on this one. That's why we're looking at it. So we got NIO and we got, what was the other one? ALPP as our 2 main focuses for today. And I would probably add SCOR as our potential third most interesting pick for today. So yesterday it really held that high very nicely. So let's see what happens. All right, so we got, yeah, here we go. Woo! I was like, we got three seconds left. No, we don't. A lot of sellers, ALPP. AGRX is dipping. Now we were trading AGRX earlier. Actually, no, we weren't. We were just kind of constantly following AGRX. It's not something I want to be trading. The market is down a little bit today. Everything is down. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that means we're going to get some better crashes today. Let's go ahead and check the scanner, see if we can find any gap ups. We got SLS moving. I could actually look at that SLS. Was such a big rally. What? Ay, 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 ay. That is really crazy. Not really any volume, so that is a very dangerous trade. Not a lot of volume at all today. Maybe DERM could be interesting. True. Let's go ahead and mark True and check it out. Yeah, overnight gap. Really solid. Just gonna go ahead and put that on our watch list. So this is an earnings winner. Kind of looking at a lot of stuff right now. But the two main ones we were looking at aren't really moving. NIO and ALPP. ALPP is actually a little bit rallying to the upside. And actually, now I remember there is one more trade we are potentially could get it into CLVS. You know, could be breaking the highs, and there could be a good little rally on our hands here. Just gonna go ahead and remove our order. Okay. Up about 3.6% today. $4.47 new order. Let's see if we can get into this one. True is looking really interesting. A little bit of a dip back down. Looks like CLVS is really rallying. Yeah, this would have been the one to hold overnight, actually, up about 6%. Then we would have saved one of those orders, which is really, really nice. We now have a little order at 4.47, which might be able to land us an entry on some sort of dip down, although I think that we missed that dip as it looks like it already happened. Let's go ahead and create an alert. Okay, we're getting a dip on NIO. It's quite a big dip, actually. It's not too bad, actually. Okay, 4 or 5%. Could be worse. We might see that crack below 2 now. If these orders go out, we're definitely going to be dipping pretty aggressively, I would say. Okay, the first bounce off the 2 is going strong. TD already adjusted the chart to the downside. That's not a good sign. Maybe TD knows something that we don't. Ooh, I would not want to be in this one right now. But it looks like it's holding. I mean, you could be up 0.25% if you bought out the perfect 2, which didn't happen. True. Let's see if True's bouncing a little bit. I think there's a super good chance that True would have a little bounce in this area. Or not. I mean, this could just keep crashing another 9% pretty easily. 4.2. True's daily chart just looks so uninteresting, and these gap downs can be very, very dangerous. Once these gaps are failed, and this one had some pretty hard profit taking and selling into this area, then they could just continue all the way back down to former supports, which would be right around here. That bounce was very weak too. One of those classic bounces that you want to watch out for. Check what CLVS is doing. CLVS is running to the upside. This was that trade that we kind of called out, and then somehow it ran away from us. We are actually in this one. We're actually up on this one, 5.6%. Very nice with a tiny position, but I'll take it. Super tiny position. CLVS. Let me go ahead and put that one on this screen. CLVS. Again, down here, actually, CLVS. Oh, that was wrong. CLVS. I think if we break these highs right here at the 4.74, we could really have this one rallying for quite some time. So let's see what happens. Again, I got to keep an eye out for the other ones. You know, there was no alert. I didn't get an alert. I set an alert, but I did not hear it. Super weird. It didn't even go back to our entry price. I'm not really sure how that fill happened, to be honest, guys. I will need to check that. There's going to be a lot of resistance at the 4.7. Using all these different brokers is really stressful sometimes, because on TD I know where everything is. On here, not so much. Just gonna go ahead and set this for 100. Also, this is really annoying how it's not at 100. Okay, hopefully that's saved. Go ahead and put it for 9 time. Good till close. Yes, extended hours. Everything looks fine. Place order obviously is sell. We have a position. It doesn't even say our position. It's so stressful. Like 4.95. You always want to double check these. Submit it successfully. So yeah, in our TD account, I mean, this trade should easily be over $120 profit, you know, trading with our other position sizes, but we'll take it. I mean, we'll take it. I'm not complaining, but it's one of those things. It's so bad that I didn't know I had an open position. It's really not okay. We're running up here. We had a little dip down again, breaking to new highs here. Don't want to get too greedy, but I want to. I think there's a really good chance that we're going to continue this run up a little bit. I'm checking my other positions. I don't have anything else open. Big resistance at the 5. The reason I say that is because we bounced off the 5 and then we crashed down the 5, and we even retested off the 5. So I think the 5 is a really pivotal area. My exit order could be a little aggressive. My exit order is right here, 4.95. So let's kind of watch this chart. I might move it down a little bit to 89. it's really tough trying to watch all these different okay, so I moved it down to 92. We're about, okay, it looks like there's big selling at 4.87. I think we might not break that 4.9. Whew. Okay, we broke it. Now we're at 42, 4.92. We hit 4.92. I might be out of the trade. Boom, I'm out of the trade. There we go. That's how we do it. Done for trading for today. Oh, that was intense. Can you guys feel it? Can you feel the intensity? Nice. So we made 57 bucks off of $600. Not bad because, so we grew the account by about 10% with that one trade. 60 buck profit yesterday. Not bad. Right now, 4.93, 4.92. I think it was good that we moved the order down. Yeah, I mean, we might even break 5. I would have got that 4.95. But what did I say in the beginning of this video? You're not trying to shoot for the moon. You're trying to take profits when you have them. And we had profits. We had 10% profit. Stocks. I'm not gonna lie, that was so sketchy. I think that was the first time I was completely unaware that I entered a trade. I mean, no idea. That was pure chance that I actually decided to go ahead and check that. I don't like the ALPP position. There's no volume in here. Check this out. It's not really something I want to be even really touching. The NIO position is a little more interesting. We had a pretty solid bounce, 2.7%. I mean, this stuff is not moving. Let's check out True was much nicer, but it's not really a pattern that I mean, this does not speak to me. It's a nice bounce, but it's not something that I really understand, I guess you can say. I think that's going to wrap up the live stream for today. We are just about at 45 minutes. My goal is always to, be trading around an hour, but why not wrap it up with that one? I think I'm going to be done with trading for today. I'm also coming out with another video for you guys, and the video is going to, what is it actually going to be about? Oh yeah, I'm going to be reviewing a lot of the past trades in the last few weeks with a focus to the ones of this week, and I'm going to be reviewing them a little bit as quick as possible. The big focus is, what was my main lesson from the last week, the last 2 weeks, and then just really breaking it down. How can I learn from those last trades and apply that to my upcoming week, so next week? And I'm going to be coming out with that video probably in a few hours, so I'm going to be working on that one now. I'll probably be wrapping up my trading. I might have these limit orders out for a bit longer, depending on some price action and whatnot. CLVS was really, really good fun. I'm happy you guys tuned in. I always appreciate you guys tuning in, if it's live or if it's on playback. It's super fun, not just to have you guys here, but it shows me that you guys are really working hard to improve your trading education, and you guys want to be growing your accounts, and those are the people that I want to be around. So that's awesome stuff, guys. And I guess let me just put it on the big screen quickly, just to say bye. So yeah, guys, have a great weekend. Have a great Friday evening. This weekend I'm going to be in Hamburg, so taking a little train tomorrow morning up north, and then I will be back here first thing, ready to go on Monday.